All right, I want to show you our Bosch dishwasher, and I want to teach you some simple things you can do to maintain this dishwasher and some things that you're going to need to do if you should end up having a little bit of a problem. Because every once in a while, we've had our dishwasher for about 10 years. Love it. I don't think we've ever had to call the repairman. But we've been tempted a time or two until I've done a few things to solve the situation. So I want to show you how to do these things. I'm going to have Sallie come on over here. She's my cameraman for this. And I'm going to show you some simple things that we do. Now, I do these things pretty much every month, okay? First thing is, I pull this out, and we've got this sprayer here. I'll pull this out, and I look to see if there's any crud growing in these little jets. Because every once in a while, you can end up with some things growing in there, you know, the food particles that made it through there and don't come back out. So what I'll normally do is I'll run some water. Now, like I said, I do this every month or so. There's nothing in there. There's nothing going on. But yours might be a little different. You might find you have some food that's stuck in those, and if they get stuck in those little jets, obviously water can't spray out, and you're not going to clean your dishes. It's real simple to take out and put in. I put it in there, and there's this nut underneath there, and I just turn it a quarter turn. Quarter turn to lock it, quarter turn this counterclockwise, and drop it down. It's real easy to come out. The next thing I do, I'm going to take this basket, and I'm going to set it on the counter here. The next thing I do, this sprayer, it just pops right out. You just lift it out. But again, I do the same thing. I look to make sure there's nothing's in those jets. Now, Sallie, can you see in there? There's a little something in the end there. I don't know what it is, but it's going to come out. And today, I can just use my fingernails. I pulled it out. Looks like a little piece of paper or something. But that was blocking water out of that last jet or nozzle. So, oh, here it's in my hand right now. It's actually it's one of those little pieces of from the label or something. But again, I'll just clean those jets to make sure that they're all functioning well. These all look good. And then I'm going to put it back in by just putting it in the hole, pushing it down a little bit, it snaps right into place. So those two arms need to be done. And this is the big piece, I think. I'm gonna remove these screens. Okay, now you'll see we've got those two black arrows. I turn that, it loosens right up, and it just lifts right up, the whole screen. And there's actually two pieces here. I've got, oh, there was a cherry pit on there. We had a cherry pit go through our dishwasher, but fortunately it got stuck there. I can just pull this little screen thing off, and you can see, I think you can see, Sallie, can you see there's some food? Even though I do this quite often, there's some things that need to be cleaned off of there. So I usually just take a little brush. This is an old toothbrush. Sometimes I'll do this. It depends on how things are. Sometimes I'll just take the sprayer, and I get enough pressure, cleans it right up. So I want to make sure that the water in our dishwasher that it flows real freely. Now this little screen, I'm going to clean that a little bit. The dishwasher's been doing really well, so I'm surprised there's this much in there. Well, I've opened dishwashers up before and seen just 10 pounds of shredded garbage in there. And obviously that's going to restrict. So imagine if you're having a little trouble with your dishwasher, before you call the repairman, you want to check, make sure it's not something like this that just can be cleaned, and you know that you've got some water pressure that's being restricted because of your own filters that need to be cleaned. All right, that looks good. So I'm going to put it back together. I just put that basket back like that. It just snaps right into place. I'm going to put this back here. I'm going to turn it to the arrow, and as I did that, I could feel it tightening up. It tightens up, and it's in place. Oh, by the way, I when I put those on, those arms, I always check to make sure that they spin. I don't want to have them messed up. All right, the next thing I want to show you. The only other problem we ever have with our dishwasher is that once in a while, I'll notice the glasses especially don't. They have food particles on them. They don't get as clean as they ought to, and that's because my rinse aid needs to be filled. That's where I put the rinse aid in. There's a little button up here, a little light that tells me needs to have rinse aid added to it. And I know sometimes people are tempted to bypass the rinse aid. We have a water softener, so our water's pretty soft, but regardless, our dishes are much cleaner, much more. They look beautiful actually when they come out of this when I've used the rinse aid. So we always use rinse aid. Let me grab something here. Now this is not a commercial for Finish, but we use these tablets, and I really like what they do. You don't have to peel them open or anything. I just pull one of these out, stick them in the dishwasher, and they do a great job. Again, I've seen some of them that they'll say they have a rinse aid with them. I've used ones that had rinse aid with them. They didn't do the trick. I still had to have the rinse aid to it. So make sure you do both things: a good cleaner and a good rinse aid. 4 tricks that you're going to say, why was I never told these things about a dishwasher? So the first thing is, before you leave on a trip, always make sure you run your dishwasher through, and if at the very least that you leave the door open, because if you don't, you come back in a week and that food on those dishes, not a pleasant smell. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, rinse peanut butter and egg yolks, especially off of your silverware. Best if you do it off your plates as well, but for sure off your silverware. Your jets will not give enough power to get egg yolks and peanut butter off. Don't be frustrated if they don't come clean. That's just typical for all dishwashers. They struggle with peanut butter and egg yolks. The next thing I would tell you is a lot of times folks are really anxious about rinsing everything off the dishes. I got a son-in-law who wants to put those dishes in there and they look sparkling clean, but he doesn't understand. He does now because I explained it to him. But a dishwasher soap, it's got enzymes and surfactants and things. It requires, for maximum cleaning power, it requires some food in there. Those dishes have got to have some residual grease and food particles on there, so that the enzymes and the surfactants have something to hold on to, so they can break down those particles and then clean it. So don't be tempted to clean your dishes too much. Don't leave big hunks of spaghetti and things, but don't rinse them so much. All right, leave a little bit of food on there. Now I had one more thing I want to tell you. Oh yeah, and this is a great one. I'm glad we had this on there. Don't be tempted to leave labels and things on your jars. All right, clean labels and things off of your jars before you put them in the dishwasher. Save you a lot of trouble. This and more of them could have gotten inside of into those jets and been a lot harder to clean off. So anyway, all right. If you like this, please subscribe. We're making lots of these kind of videos on simple things to maintain your appliances and things. So thanks for joining us.